So welcome everybody to Clinical Hypnosis Australia. Today I'm talking to Marijke, and Marijke's from New Zealand and then came to Australia. So thank you so much for doing that. And you work with trauma-based issues, is that correct?
Trauma and addiction, and the two go hand in hand anyway. I've never met
Oh,
an addict that doesn't have trauma.
right. So what got you
Yeah.
into the addiction and trauma stuff? Because that's some pretty heavy stuff.
Well, that's not all I do, but so a long time.
We're showing
Gosh,
our age now, aren't we?
I know. So my I've been around addiction like pretty much since I uh left home, I think, off into the world. And it's like, it's a wonderfully, especially the music and, the look and it's everything like that. And so I was like around it and meshed with it, in early years. And then, like children came along and lives change. But always been connected with it somehow with people that I know, some really close as well. And just just learned more and more and more in life sense, and realized that I could do something about it. And I actually went and worked in a rehab in Thailand, not working, was volunteering my time
Wow,
after.
that would have been an eye-opener.
It's yes and no, not really. It's a lot of. I mean, you've got to be able to get a visa
Hmm.
to go out of the country. You've got to be able to have the money to
Yeah,
be there. So it's
yeah.
not people who are at the coalface. It's people who still have enough supports or things in their lives to
Hmm.
be able to um, afford to get to a rehab self-funded, or sometimes with insurance. But like it's a different kind of a look. It's nice, beautiful food, beautiful location,
Yeah.
all of that sort of stuff. It's not that ground level. When I was there, oh, and I'd gone there because I'd been looking after a friend with motor neuron disease, ALS, and I was burned out. So I understand burnout as well. So I work with
Hmm.
that a lot with women, particularly because they experience it a lot in their home and trying
Yeah.
to juggle everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was like a friend was a manager, and she said,
Mhm.
and I said, oh, I can't look for a job now. And she goes, come here. I said, well, I don't have any qualifications in that. She goes, yeah, but you know how to kick butt.
Well, I had enough of you.
Yeah, and it was, and I loved it so much, and realized that I had a real passion for it at that level, at that different level, that more external level.
Mhm.
Um, and I thought, how could I get involved with this? And that's how I went into NLP, was
Wow.
because I don't want to go off and do like the X amount of years of formal study. I'm a bit neurospicy.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so I trained with NLP as a way to be able to do work with people like that. And then from there, I owned a cafe and did another series of burnout.
Why just choose one?
Why not? Why not? Um, yeah, oh, trauma too. Yeah, back to that. I was a first response ambulance officer in New Zealand, in a small sort of adventure, Queenstown,
Hmm.
near
Yeah.
there. So there's lots and lots of accidents
Wow.
that happen that are quite gruesome.
Hmm.
Uh, when you're living in an adventure place.
Yeah.
That's where I first got my first understanding of PTSD.
Wow.
Um, and there's nothing back then to like really educate about what
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
do. And, you have a you go to a big thing, a pile up or whatever, and you go to the pub and have a stiff drink and carry on.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I was in the SES, and
Yeah,
we had some trauma stuff, and you just
yeah,
grab a packet of Winnie Blues and
yeah,
a
yeah.
slab, and you would process it.
That's
We sit
right.
there, ooh,
Yeah,
different times back then for sure.
yeah.
And on your website, it says it's a body mind shock. What made you chose that as
Do you know
starting
I
point?
do you know what I had? I had a bit of a thing with that because it's like, oh, it's not very fluffy. It's not very anything that would draw people in because it doesn't say fix me, heal me, nothing.
No.
Because I also I work with a physical modality as well that was developed in New Zealand separately, but everything's linked. There's what I work with is the shock of impact to the body, to the bones, to the brain, to the mind. So in a moment of shock, a surprise bang, we get stuck. We get
Mm-hmm.
stuck in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Our amygdala fires off all of those messages. We're in danger. And it doesn't matter if it's body or mind. It just is. And it gets stuck. So much of us get stuck in that place and we carry on. We go forth in our life. It becomes in the past. But,
And then
I've
get
got
random
something.
triggers that set you off as well.
I've got something that I tell a lot of clients, which is, imagine that you've you've had a distressing time, like maybe your marriage is broken up or your dog's died. And you just go, oh, I've got to get out of the house. I'm really sad. I need to cheer myself up. I go to a cafe. I'm sitting outside. There's a beautiful like tree and flower. It's a nice breezy day. There's a couple of seagulls out there. I'm having a cup of tea and a peanut biscuit. And I'm just taking my first bite of this peanut biscuit, and boom, somebody's had a bomb at the concrete planter right beside me, and I get hit with a shard in my cheekbone. And it's like, oh, that was a big fright. It's okay though. I go to the hospital, I get stitched up, and it's like, wow, I tell everybody, whoa, this happened to me, this happened to me. And like 6 months, a year later, it's like, oh, I'm allergic to peanuts. Oh my God, I developed hay fever.
It's all down to the pain gate, isn't it?
Yeah, and so the body and the brain, they can't tell, particularly the brain, they can't tell the difference between, it's like this is a danger moment. So everything that's in that moment, in that event, it can be a trigger. So you might not know why you suddenly developed hay fever.
Mm. Mm.
But it's that smell of that beautiful tree and flower.
Mm.
And
Yep.
on the cheekbone with my body stuff, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get this really bad arm because body correspondences, the
Yes.
cheekbone is the arm.
Psychometry. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
Honestly.
it's like we can't just go, this is one fix for one thing.
Absolutely.
There's no
Absolutely.
one fix for one thing. We need to know
Hmm.
how our
What's
whole
going on with the
system,
individual
yeah,
and
the individual.
how we can help you? Absolutely.
Absolutely. The
On your
system
web
that
on your website also it talks about equilibrium.
equilibrium, yeah.
That's not something that a lot of like hypnos and NLPs like go into. So how do you explain that to your clients that you can achieve equilibrium?
The entire universe is striving for equilibrium, you know and our bodies, my body my physical training, it's like, if you've got a sore elbow because you've smacked it, it's going to pull you down at a kinetic level physically, and you're going to use all of these muscles and tendons and soft tissues and everything to stand back upright. But the whole world works like that, the whole universe works like that, including our body. And so in hypnotherapy, it's like, I just want to bring you back into balance, equilibrium balance, so that you can make your choices and be in control of the choices.
Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you need assistance with addiction, trauma, you're going through some heavy stuff, please reach
Domestic
out.
violence,
Yeah.
all of these things they're all hand in hand with each
Yeah.
other. Domestic violence,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's also, and yes, that
Reach
sort
out
of
to
stuff.
Marijke, honestly.
I don't do smoking and weight loss.
Yeah, that's the short, fluffy stuff for when hypnos are starting out, right?
I don't do that. But
So
yeah, if
veterans
people
of
want,
veterans of the industry like you and I, we're going for the bigger, heavier stuff. Let's solve that first, and then the rest will
it
just fall
works.
away.
but it works,
Yes.
and in a shorter period of time. Like I don't think that any people just want something that works.
Mhm.
They don't necessarily need to be spending years of their life telling their story. I don't need to know the story. I just need to know some key details.
Mhm.
Because what I look for is how it's impacted you.
Mhm. Beautiful.
What is the cause of the effect? That comes from, it's the tagline of my body work, but my physical therapy. But it's the cause of the effect. The effect is you might have anxiety. The effect is you might collapse at the sound of a bee flying by. That's an effect. What's the cause of the cause of
Fantastic. Fantastic. And that's what we call the deep stuff.
that? Yeah, and so that's where I work. And you don't even necessarily know that that's where I'm going, but your system does. Your entire system knows that.
Wonderful. So thank you everybody for joining in on this. Please, the your website will be down in the comments. Reach out because you work in person and via Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes, I do in person, in Melbourne and Bendigo, Victoria, and Zoom everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't have insurance to take American citizens.
that comes with the territory, but that's okay. We'll keep on helping the rest of the world. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining in on that conversation, and please reach out to Marijke and get some help. Okay. See you, everybody. Bye bye.